Hold on to your hearts, dear viewers, because the wise voice that bridged divided presidents and guided a nation through turbulent times with unwavering integrity has fallen silent forever, plunging Washington and beyond into a sea of sorrow and reflection is David Gergen, the bipartisan sage who advised 4 commanders-in-chief and became a beacon of principled commentary, has tragically left us, his departure a stark reminder that even the steadiest hands in politics can't outrun time's relentless march. Born on May 9, 1942, in Durham, North Carolina, David rose from Southern roots to Yale University and Harvard Law School, enlisting in the Navy during Vietnam before diving into the White House fray as a speechwriter for Richard Nixon in 1971, navigating the Watergate storm with a moral compass that led him to serve Gerald Ford as communications director, then Ronald Reagan in the same role where he crafted messages of hope amid Cold War tensions, and astonishingly crossing party lines to counsel Bill Clinton in 1993, helping steer the administration through scandals and policy triumphs like NAFTA, all while earning a reputation as a unifier who put country over partisanship, later founding the Center for Public Leadership at Harvard's Kennedy School in 2000 to mentor future leaders on ethical governance, authoring bestsellers like Eyewitness to Power that peeled back the curtain on presidential decision-making, and becoming a trusted CNN political analyst for over 2 decades. Dispensing wisdom on everything from elections to ethical crises with his signature calm and insight that made him a household name in American discourse. On the personal front, David was a devoted family man whose life was enriched by his 58-year marriage to psychotherapist Gergen since 1967, a partnership that grounded him through Washington's whirlwinds and produced 2 children, son Christopher, a social entrepreneur, and daughter Catherine, a physician, who blessed him with grandchildren he adored, often sharing tender reflections on fatherhood and the importance of family amid his high-stakes career, while his Southern Baptist upbringing instilled a deep faith that fueled his commitment to public service and quiet acts of kindness that endeared him to colleagues across the ideological spectrum. In a poignant and gradual fade that mirrored the progressive cruelty of his affliction, David succumbed on July 11, 2025, at a serene retirement community in Lexington, Massachusetts, to the debilitating effects of Lewy body dementia at the age of 83, his family revealing he had battled the brain disease with the same quiet dignity that defined his life, slipping away peacefully after years of symptoms that robbed him of mobility but never his sharp mind until the end, a respectful close for a man who had witnessed history's highs and lows without ever losing his humanity. The nation erupted in bipartisan mourning as tributes flooded in like a unifying wave, with former Vice President Al Gore hailing him on social media as a man of kindness, sound judgment, and devotion to doing good who focused on what truly mattered to Americans. Harvard President Emeritus Lawrence Summers tweeted that David showed honor in being a Washington insider. CNN issued a heartfelt statement calling him a relentlessly kind and warm person whose insights elevated everyone around him. President Joe Biden reflected on his extraordinary service to 4 presidents and commitment to democratic values. Former President Bill Clinton shared a personal anecdote about David's counsel during tough times, praising his moral clarity. His son Christopher spoke movingly of a dedicated public servant who put country above party and an adoring father. Daughter Catherine penned a touching column in the Boston Globe about his final reflections on leadership amid dementia, and everyday admirers on social media wept over losing a voice of reason in chaotic times, with hashtags like #RIP David Gergen trending as fans shared clips of his CNN appearances, all echoing the profound loss of a bridge builder in an era of division. As we wipe away the tears and ponder the fractured politics he sought to heal, let's cling to the timeless wisdom of David Gergen, the Durham dreamer who navigated power's corridors with humility and heart, teaching us that true leadership transcends parties, integrity outlasts scandals, and a life of service can unite even the most divided souls. Rest in eternal peace, dear David. Your counsel may have quieted, but it resonates forever in the halls of history and our hopeful hearts, inspiring us to bridge divides, lead with honor, and cherish the fragile gift of unity in a world that needs it now more than ever, leaving us all a little wiser, deeply saddened, and profoundly grateful for the gentleman who showed us the way. Hold on to your hearts, dear viewers, because the last living echo of a generation that stormed the beaches of Normandy and stared down the horrors of war has faded into eternal silence, shattering the souls of a grateful nation and reminding us how fragile the threads of history truly are. Donald Rose, Britain's oldest World War II veteran and a beacon of unyielding courage who survived D-Day and liberated Bergen-Belsen, has peacefully departed this world, leaving behind a legacy of sacrifice that will forever stir our tears and steel our resolve. Born on December 24, 1914, in the quaint town of Woking, Surrey, England, Donald answered the call of duty at the outbreak of World War II, enlisting in the Queen's Royal Regiment where he trained as a deadly accurate sniper, serving with the legendary 7th Armored Division, the Desert Rats, in the scorching sands of North Africa, battling Axis forces with grit and precision before storming the beaches of Normandy on D-Day June 6, 1944, dodging enemy fire and sustaining wounds that nearly claimed him, only to press on and witness the unimaginable atrocities as he helped liberate the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in 1945, earning a chest full of medals including the prestigious French Légion d'honneur for his valor, and rising to the rank of corporal before demobilization in 1946, later becoming a symbol of enduring heroism as the UK's oldest surviving World War II veteran and the nation's oldest man, celebrated for his sharp wit and tales that bridged past and present. Away from the front lines, Donald lived a quiet yet fulfilling life, working as a builder and milkman in his post-war years while raising a loving family in Ilkeston, Derbyshire, where he shared 73 blissful years with his devoted wife Joan until her passing in 2018, cherishing their 2 children, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren who filled his days with joy, often crediting his remarkable longevity to a cheeky secret: drinking salty water during his desert campaigns, and maintaining a spry sense of humor that endeared him to all, from local councillors who honored him on his 110th birthday to the community that rallied around him in his final years at a care home where he became a cherished resident. In a gentle yet profoundly moving farewell that befits a man who outlived the shadows of war by over 8 decades, Donald passed away peacefully on July 11, 2025, at his care home in Ilkeston, Derbyshire, England, from natural causes at the extraordinary age of 110 years and 199 days, his family by his side in those final serene moments. A quiet exit for a hero whose life had been anything but ordinary, as confirmed by local authorities who had celebrated him just months earlier on the 80th anniversary of VE Day. The United Kingdom and the world erupted in heartfelt tributes as news spread like a solemn salute, with crowds lining the streets of Ilkeston for his funeral procession where hundreds gathered to honor him with applause and poppies, social media awash in tears as fans shared stories of his cheeky longevity secrets and D-Day bravery under hashtags like #RIP Donald Rose and #Lest We Forget, while public figures poured out their admiration. Arawash Borough Council, who had presented him with honours, mourned the true hero whose passing marked the end of an era. The Royal British Legion hailed him as a symbol of sacrifice whose legacy would never fade. BBC reporters like Georgic reflected on his gentlemanly charm and the urgency to preserve veterans' stories before they're lost forever, and even international outlets like AP News amplified the sorrow of a nation bidding farewell to its oldest guardian of history, all uniting in a chorus of gratitude that underscored how Donald's quiet heroism touched hearts across generations. As the poppies bloom in remembrance and the winds of time carry his stories forward, let us hold tight to the unbreakable spirit of Donald Rose, the Christmas Eve boy who grew into a sniper of steel and a man of quiet wisdom, teaching us that true heroism lies in enduring the unimaginable for freedom's sake, that longevity is a gift wrapped in salty resilience, and that one life can echo through centuries to remind us never to forget the price of peace. Rest in everlasting glory, dear Donald. Your watch may have ended, but your valor marches on in every grateful heart, inspiring us to honor the fallen, cherish the living, and live with the courage you so humbly exemplified, leaving us all a little humbler, deeply emotional, and forever indebted to the giant among men who walk so tall at 110. Hold on to your hearts, football fans, because the unbreakable guardian of the gridiron whose ferocious blocks protected legends and inspired generations has been taken from us in a devastating blow that leaves the NFL world reeling with grief and gratitude. Luis Sharp, the dominant offensive tackle who anchored the Arizona Cardinals line through triumphs and turmoil, has tragically passed away, reminding us all how even the toughest warriors face battles beyond the field that test the soul. Born on June 16, 1960, in the vibrant streets of Detroit, Michigan, Luis rose from a standout high school star at Southwestern to shine at UCLA, where he earned all Pac-10 honors and helped the Bruins to bowl victories, before being scooped up as the 16th overall pick in the 1982 NFL Draft by the St. Louis Cardinals, embarking on a 13-year career that saw him start every single one of his 189 games as left tackle, earning 3 Pro Bowl nods from 1984 to 1987, 2 second-team All-Pro selections, and becoming a cornerstone as the team relocated to Phoenix in 1988, protecting quarterbacks like Neil Lomax and Tim Rosenbach with unyielding power that made him a fan favorite and a symbol of resilience in an era of gritty football. But Luis's life was a raw tapestry of highs and harrowing lows. After retirement in 1994, he plunged into a dark spiral of drug addiction that led to multiple arrests, jail time, and heartbreaking estrangement from loved ones, yet he clawed his way back to sobriety in 2015, relocating to his Detroit roots where he became a beacon of hope as a counselor at a local sobriety clinic, working with the NFL to support former players' health, and reuniting with his devoted wife Tamika Williams Sharp. Their love enduring through storms, while cherishing his children, including daughter Rebecca, who stood by him in recovery, and using his story to inspire others with unflinching honesty about the demons that lurk after the cheers fade. In a quiet yet crushing end to a life of fierce battles, Luis suffered a fatal heart failure on July 11, 2025, at his home in Detroit, Michigan, at the age of 65, his body finally yielding after years of physical toll from the game and personal struggles, passing peacefully as confirmed by his family, who chose to share the news with heavy hearts, allowing the world to mourn a man who had fought so valiantly to reclaim his peace. The football community exploded in waves of emotion as tributes poured in like a thunderous ovation, with fans flooding social media in tears sharing stories of his unbreakable blocks and redemption journey. One devotee posting, "Luis was more than a player, he was a survivor who taught us grace in defeat." The Arizona Cardinals organization released a heartfelt statement from owner Michael Bidwell praising his strength and toughness both as a player and in facing personal challenges, extending condolences to his family and former teammates. UCLA football mourned their alum as one of the best offensive linemen in the history of UCLA, with a touching post that garnered thousands of views. ESPN's Adam Schefter broke the news with somber details, sparking reactions from peers like former quarterback Neil Lomax, who called him "my protector on and off the field, a brother lost too soon." Sobriety advocates and ex-players like Kevin McCabe shared raw remembrances of his counseling impact, noting how he turned pain into purpose, and even non-sports figures echoed the loss, with Detroit locals honoring their native son at vigils, all uniting in a chorus of "RIP" to a true Ironman that highlighted his profound influence on the game and beyond. As we huddle in reflection amid this profound loss, let's embrace the unyielding spirit of Luis Sharp, the Detroit kid who rose to NFL glory, fell into darkness, and rose again to light the way for others, teaching us that true strength lies in vulnerability, redemption is possible, and legacies are forged not just in victories but in the courage to keep fighting. Rest in victorious peace, dear Luis. Your blocks may have ended, but your story charges on, motivating every underdog to stand tall. Heal deeply, and protect those they love, leaving us all a bit stronger, deeply moved, and eternally thankful for the warrior who showed us the heart behind the helmet.